So 3,600 reviews, professional management, 4.2 stars. Now, on a hotel platform, that may be viewed as a success story, but on Airbnb in 2026, that is a different story entirely. And this listing is being buried in search. So right now, while it's sitting there available to be booked, comparable 4-bedroom homes in the same market with 4.8 or 4.9 star ratings are on page 1. Meanwhile, this one is deep in the results, charging less money, attracting the wrong guests, and slowly compounding a problem the host almost certainly doesn't see. And here are the first 5 photos. Would you actually book this listing? So don't answer as a host, answer as a guest. Someone scrolling pretty fast, likely with multiple tabs open on their computer, trying not to make a mistake on a trip that matters to you as well as your group. Because here's what I want to show you. Before I started filming this video, I rewrote one sentence in this listing, the title. And that single sentence is costing the host more bookings than anything else I'm about to show you. And I'm going to show you exactly what changed and why that change matters. But first, the context you need in about 30 seconds. On Airbnb, roughly 85% of our reviews are 5 stars. And the distribution isn't a bell curve. It's actually fairly top heavy. And here's why this matters. A 4.2 star rating doesn't put you in the middle of the pack. It puts you in the bottom 10% of hosts on Airbnb. And this is important because Airbnb monitors listings below 4.3 for potential suspension. And so y'all, this threshold has a name. I call it the removal zone. And this listing is sitting inside of it. Now, not because it's dangerous, not because it's dishonest, but because 3,600 guests left enough signals that the algorithm stopped trusting it. And y'all, the research shows that 0.1 star increase in your rating can add roughly $100 to $200 in additional revenue each month. Getting from a 4.2 to a 4.8 superhost status, full visibility, is a 0.6 star move worth hundreds of dollars a month before you change a single thing about your property. And so that is what is at stake here. This is going to be a surgical examination of this listing. I'm tracing exactly how this 4.2 was built, guest decision by guest decision. And most importantly, what would it take to actually reverse it? So 5 skip triggers, 5 signals, 1 compounding problem. And y'all, if you currently host on Airbnb, or if you're even thinking about it, I want you to stick around in this video because what I find in this listing is almost certainly in yours too. So let's start with the title. Here's the exact sentence I changed. This was the original title. It describes the property, bedrooms, pool, location. It answers one question. What is this place for? Now, here is the rewritten sentence. Same house, same pool, same location, but this one sentence answers a different question. Who is this place for? That is the one sentence. And everything else in this video explains why that single shift changes who clicks, who books, and who leaves 5-star reviews. And I'll break down the full title mechanics in another video because there's enough content there for its own teardown. But for now, just notice how the rewrite feels compared to the original. Guests don't analyze listings, they feel them. In a title that answers the right question, well, that feels different in 1 second. And that is the setup, but here's the first skip trigger, house rules. This listing has 12 of them, and I want to read the exact language because the specific words is precisely what's doing the damage here. You give your permission to the property manager to verify your identity and check the criminal database. Confirm reservations are conditional and may be canceled pending verification results. Guests take full responsibility for any accidents, injuries, or illnesses. And y'all, this next line, I gotta tell y'all, this really stopped me when I read it. If this sounds like something that will not work for you or your group, this property might not be the one for you. And here's the thing, this listing is pre-rejecting guests before they've decided to book. Now, think about who reads 12 rules carefully. High-value guests, families, corporate travelers, guests who arrive on time, respect your space, and leave raving 5-star reviews. Those are the guests who read rules. Now, they're also the same guests who will read your tone. And when the tone says, we're already afraid of you, when it says, upload your ID and consent to a criminal background check before your reservation is even confirmed, I can tell y'all, high-value guests will close that tab and move right along. So not because they're planning to do anything wrong, but because because they have 30 other options just above or below your listing that they can choose from. And every single time, they're going to choose the host who will treat them like a customer instead of a suspect. And so after this, who's actually left? Well, the guests who don't read the rules or the guests who didn't have any better options. That is the opposite of who those 12 rules were written to protect against. And here's the part I find somewhat ironic. The wall that this host is building to filter out problem guests is actually filtering out the best guests and leaving the door open for exactly who they feared. Well, that is skip trigger number 1, conflict risk. And here's where I get more specific, because the second skip trigger is the description, and it connects directly to the listing's worst reviews. And remember, this all started with one sentence that filtered out the wrong guests before they ever read the rules. And remember, this is a pool home. The pool is in every single photo. The pool is why this property commands a premium over comparable 4-bedroom homes without a pool. Now, here's what the description says about that pool. So the pool and backyard amenity availability and conditions are subject to severe inclement weather, particularly during monsoon season. Debris may collect at the bottom of the pool and spas. So pool service providers visit the property weekly for scheduled cleaning, but daily service is not provided. We may not be held responsible for delays in amenity availability due to acts of nature. Hey, y'all, that paragraph is saying a lot, but let's go and break it down from the guest's perspective. That first sentence is saying the amenity that you may be booking this listing for might not be available during your stay. Now, look at that second sentence. It's saying the pool may have debris in it. And the third sentence, the cleaners come once a week, but not before your arrival once a week. Now, y'all, that fourth sentence, if something goes wrong, it is not our responsibility. And I saw what the host is trying to do. They wrote that paragraph to try to protect their business. But what it actually does to a guest is something very different. It trains them. It gives every person who booked this listing a specific thing to look for first. And what do you think they're going to do when they check into this listing? They're going to go right to that pool to see if it's clean. And look what happened. Robert booked this listing back in February 2025 for a 2-week stay. And when he arrived, the pool wasn't working. He contacted the manager. Someone came out, but here's what they found. The pool motor wasn't broken. It was missing altogether. And here's Robert's review in his own words. It took a couple days and the motor was back, but then it was so loud that you couldn't even sleep at night. 2-star review. And the host response, well, it was much more of a corporate generic apology. No mention of the missing motor, no explanation, no ownership. And when a future guest read this exchange, they're not going to think at least the host responded. And they think if something goes wrong when I'm there, I'm going to get an automated apology, not a solution. Now, let's look at Kendall's review, April 2025. 3 stars. Here's her exact words. Disappointed it wasn't resolved before we showed up. And in this case, what you can see, the pool disclaimer did not protect the listing. It predicted its own reviews. That is skip trigger number 2, failure risk. All right, let's keep going. And skip trigger number 3 is the listing's first sentence. Located in Tempe and minutes from Old Town Scottsdale. And the expectation that creates its Scottsdale adjacent luxury resort area premium market. And here's what guests actually found. Brianna's review from 2023. The surrounding neighborhood isn't as nice, but there's a wall and high trees, so you feel fairly secluded. Dustin, May 2025. Directly off a main road across from convenience stores and restaurants. Now, Robert from 2025. Constant airplanes flying over. Now, these are 3 reviews, 3 guests, 3 different months, all describing a property that doesn't match what minutes from Old Town Scottsdale suggests. And here's what that mismatch costs beyond the star rating. Guests who arrive expecting Scottsdale and find a main road in Tempe, they're going to leave lower accuracy and location scores, 2 of the metrics that Airbnb weighs heaviest in search rankings. And these guests are going to write emotionally charged reviews that tend to carry disproportionate weight with every future guest who reads them. And here's what most hosts in secondary markets miss. Tempe is actually a strong short-term rental market. Think about this. ASU parents, spring training visitors, conference travelers, people heading to concert at Mullet Arena. Those guests don't want Scottsdale. Those guests want Tempe. Now, here's what the opening sentence should have said instead. A Tempe group hub, minutes from ASU, spring spring training and concerts at Mullet Arena. And these guests will arrive knowing exactly where they are, and they're going to leave 5-star reviews about exactly what they found. So that is skip trigger number 3, location mismatch. Now, onto the photos. The problem here isn't bad photography. It is what the photography is doing to the booking experience without anyone realizing it. Every indoor space in this gallery was shot with an ultra-wide lens. And you can tell this because the walls bend at the edges. And the effect that this gives is it makes each room look twice their actual size. And some may refer to this as spatial gaslighting because the listing shows guests one space and the reality delivers something completely different. And when a guest arrives to a room that is half the size of what they expected, they don't think, oh, the photos were technically accurate. They think, oh, I was misled. And here's what one guest said in their review. The picture showed a property in its best condition, well, likely when it was new. And these photos are a time machine to a version of this listing that no longer exists. The outdoor furniture featured prominently in the gallery, well, multiple guests mentioned that it was no longer there. And here's what Joe said in his review from 2025. The kitchen is not for ones who like to cook, it's missing amenities. And y'all, what I want you to understand is that every gap between what the photos show and what guests find when they show up to the property is a star reduction. And those deductions are permanent. So that is skip trigger number 4, the trust gap. And this next skip trigger, well, this is the one that most hosts never catch because it's not actually in a single review. It's in the pattern across all of them. And look at what keeps appearing. Pool problem, 4 or more reviews mention it. Hot tub issues, 3 or more reviews. Range hood not working, 2 reviews. Outdoor furniture missing or damaged, 2 reviews. The same maintenance failures, different guests, different months, different years. That is actually not bad luck. That is a system that stopped checking between guests, and the host response compounds it. Every one of them is a variation of, thank you for your feedback, we will address that promptly. But then the same issues show up in another review 12 months later. The response promises action, but the next review proves nothing changed. And when a guest actually reads that sequence, complaint, apology, same complaint, same apology, they don't think at least the host is responsive. They think no one is actually running this property. And that is skip trigger number 5, the maintenance signal. Now, here's how all 5 of them connect. Individually, none of them would actually kill a listing. Guests actually absorb friction all the time. They booked imperfect properties every single day. But when all 5 are present at the same time, something different happens. Guests hit the rules and they hesitate for 3 seconds. Something feels slightly off in the photos. The pool disclaimer plants a seed of doubt. The location promise doesn't match what the reviews describe. And scanning the review section, they see the same maintenance complaint for a 3rd time. No single moment sent them away, but each moment added weight to the same decision. And I call this the hesitation wall. Not a slam, a quiet accumulation of doubt. And Airbnb reads every moment of it. Every listing viewed without a booking is a signal. Enough signals and the algorithm responds with lower placement, fewer impressions. Search impressions that buries the listings deeper over time. And that is how a listing with 3,600 reviews ends up in the removal zone, while newer listings with cleaner signals hang on to page 1. And if you find this breakdown useful, subscribing tells me to make more of these. No fluff, just artists that actually move bookings. And here's how to find this in your own listing tonight. 3 questions, 10 minutes. Does your listing create a conflict risk? Count your house rules, read them out loud. If they sound like a background check, go and cut them. That's because guests need to feel welcome before they feel safe. Does your listing create a failure risk? Every disclaimer, every may not be available, every not responsible for. Those are risk signals, not transparency. And I want you to replace each one of them with a verification system. Then does your listing create location mismatch? So find the biggest claim in your title or opening, then read your 3 lowest reviews. If they contradict, you may be marketing to a guest who will feel misled. And if you need some help running this on your own listing, I've put together my full setup checklist in the description. It is the exact checklist I use before a listing goes live. It tells you what matters, what you can ignore, and really what doesn't matter altogether. It's free and you can use it as an implementation guide on your own listing. Now, the fix is rank by how fast they move your numbers. The single change that stops the bleeding immediately is not rewriting your rules. rules. It's not the photo update, it's a pre-arrival pool photo. One timestamp photo of a clean, working pool sent to guests within 24 hours after check-in. And I call this the proof of life. No disclaimer needed, no paragraph about monsoon season, just a visual confirmation that the amenity is ready. And that one operational change takes about 60 seconds on your cleaner's checklist, removes the failure risk altogether. It also creates a documented timestamp that protects you if something goes wrong after check-in. And y'all, it sends a clear signal to the algorithm that this property is being actively managed. Y'all, the pool disclaimer was trying to protect the host, but the proof of life photo actually does it. And the next thing I would suggest happens here is to condense from 12 rules to just 4. And here are the only ones that I think you need to show publicly. No parties, no smoking, respect quiet hours, confirm your guest count. That's it. So everything else, ID checks, legal language, liability clauses, all that moves to post-booking. The public-facing rules should communicate one thing. We trust you. Here's how to have a great stay. Now, that third fix, location framing. Stop selling guests in Scottsdale because they're going to feel misled. Start selling guests on Tempe who are going to come and be delighted to be there. So a Tempe group hub, minutes from ASU, spring training, and concerts at Mullet Arena. Honest yet specific. And guests are going to arrive knowing exactly where they are. No gap, no complaint. Now, on to that fourth update, the photos. If the outdoor furniture in those photos are no longer there, well, you got to remove that photo. That's because a lower expectation that is actually fulfilled is worth more than a higher expectation that is broken. And every one of those furniture review mentions were preventable. Fifth, go and change how maintenance complaints are answered. Now, here's the rule. If the same issue appears twice in a review, it needs to appear on a checklist, not in another apology. And every response should both name the fix as well as the date that that fix occurred. The pool motor was replaced on March 12th. That single sentence rebuilds trust faster than 10 generic apologies. And it actually does something else. It shows every future guest reading this exchange that someone is actually running this property. And here's the revenue math. The research suggests that every 0.1 star increase in Airbnb rating adds $100 to $200 in monthly revenue. So getting from a 4.2 to a 4.8 is roughly a 0.6 star move. And at conservative estimates, that's roughly $600 to $1,200 a month in recovered revenue before anything else changes. This is a 4-bedroom pool home in a strong Arizona market. And comparable properties with a 4.8 rating in this market will list for $450 to $650 per night. And at 15 booked nights per month, still fairly conservative, and the pricing gap between where this listing sits now and where it could be is $3,000 to $4,500 a month. Not from a renovation, not from new furniture, from 5 changes that cost nothing but time. And if you've watched this so far, you can probably already see these patterns in your own listing. And if you want me to audit yours next, you can send it to me using the link below. I'm not looking for perfect listings, I'm looking for interesting ones. And y'all, which one of these skip triggers surprised you most? Drop number 1 through 5. I want to see which ones you're finding in your own listings. And after you fix those skip triggers, you may feel the urge to lower your price to get a jump start on bookings. And that's pretty fair because most hosts do. And it makes intuitive sense. Lower your price, more guests book, ratings recover. And here's why that logic will destroy what you've just built. Lower prices attract price-only guests. And price-only guests arrive expecting a deal and treat every minor imperfection as a broken promise. And they will leave 4-star reviews for issues guests who paid full price would have just ignored. And 4-star reviews will drop your rating, which forces another price cuts, which attracts more price-only guests. That is the death spiral. And the only way through it is better signals, not a lower floor. Fix the triggers first. Let the reviews recover. Then adjust your price up. And so everything you just saw started with one sentence, the title. It decided who clicked, who booked, and who left reviews that buried this listing. And in the next video, I take the exact sentence and rebuild it from scratch, showing you how to filter better guests before any of those problems even start. And if you want to fix your title this week, this next video is for you, because when you pair what you've learned in this video with that one, you're going to be ahead of 90% of the other hosts in your market. See you over there.